If I were to think of a TikToker that would be a serial killer, I have a list of names.
Trixie Mattel could be a serial killer. She's more of a YouTuber, millennial.
Oh, millennial.
If one Drag Race girl is going to be a serial killer.
I always thought it would be Katya.
She's a victim.
Right. I got a podcast! I to the no. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of I'm Literally Screaming. Everybody in the stands are taking off their clothes. No, guys, please don't do that. We don't want to see your naughty body parts, or maybe we do. Well, everyone, hey, it's Spencewuah. I'm back, and today I have a very, very special guest, the one, the only, Bob the Drag Queen. However, although I don't want to keep Bob waiting, I'm going to react to something very special today. I'm about to read about it and get back to you. Let's get kicking. Spencewuah Reacts! So, today's topic is Taylor Swift boosting the U.S. economy. Oh, I love it. Okay. So we all know how powerful T Swift is. That's my girl. But she's transcending to a new level as the Eras Tour helps boost the U.S. economy and what people are calling the Swift effect. That is insane. Imagine being so famous that you can boost the economy. Didn't Taylor also, little sidetrack, didn't Taylor make it so the price of eggs went down? Like someone said T Swift fans could make the price of eggs go down, and they did. Just saying. So, according to CBS News, the Federal Reserve announced that when Taylor Swift performed in Philadelphia in May, the city saw the strongest month for hotel revenue since pre-pandemic. Chicago's tourism board said that in June, the city set a record for most occupied hotel rooms thanks to Taylor's 3 sold-out nights. Over 44,000 hotel rooms were occupied each night with over $39 million in revenue. $39 million? Holy shit! Oh my God, what I would give to be Taylor. So actually, I don't think I would ever want to be that famous. Maybe I would, but I feel like if I had that much money, I'd have a problem. I'd have a spending problem. More than 1.1 million tickets have been sold at an average price of $253. Holy shit, that's money. The biggest controversy around the Eras Tour has been the Ticketmaster fiasco, where fans went on Ticketmaster on November 22nd, 2022, to purchase Eras Tour tickets, and the site crashed in an hour. A lot of scalpers bought tickets and posted them on resale for huge prices. Swifties filed lawsuits against the company, and Taylor Swift herself said she was pissed off and called the situation excruciating. I thought we were going to talk about the earthquake that happened. Didn't Taylor Swift in her show in, I think it was like Washington or Oregon, people were jumping that there was actually like, what is it called? When the ground shakes, they said that there was like...
Oh, yeah, it says her Seattle concert generated seismic activity.
Right. That's what I thought we were going to be talking about, the seismic activity that happened in Seattle. But no, we're talking about first of all, Ticketmaster. I don't really go to concerts that frequently, so I don't really know what I can contribute to this other than, holy shit, if anyone's going to do it, it's T Swift. Like, I think we've made that very, very clear. I'm just happy I did not see Taylor Swift's name in Lana Del Rey's post, because the way things are going currently, I don't know if you guys remember, but Lana Del Rey posted that really long, like, written note about, like, Kalani, Ariana Grande, Doja Cat, Lizzo, and now all of them, one by one, mysteriously are having shit happening to them within the media. Like Ariana Grande cheating on her husband, Cardi B throwing a mic at a fan, Lizzo now having a lawsuit, Kehlani breaking her ankle at a Beyonce concert. Like, there's so much happening right now that I honestly... Aside from the whole Taylor Swift thing, we have aliens are apparently coming up out of the blue, and we're having conferences about that shit. My whole philosophy right now is just get it over with. If the world is ending and like shit is going down, get it over with. Because in my brain, it's either the world ends and everyone dies, or I have to pay taxes. Either way, it's a lose-lose situation, and I'm willing to take the latter. So, hey everyone, it's Spencewuah here with a quick word from our sponsors today at EOS. Hot summer days spent baking in the sun by the pool can leave you thirsty for more than just water. But that's where EOS Flavor Lab comes in. Say goodbye to dry, cracked lips with their new Sunset Sips collection. A lineup of seriously sippable lip balms and lip butters that will leave you hydrated and refreshed all day long. No straw required. And don't even get me started on the lip balm flavors on this collection. Wild cherry slushy, pink lemonade, vanilla frappe, melon mai tai, guava berry punch, and island coconut are all so delicious, I wish I could drink them. With soothing shea butter, weightless coconut oil, and protective antioxidants packed into each balm, I feel like I'm taking my lips to the spa every time I put EOS on. You really can't get more luxury than that. Pick up your favorite flavor combos at Walmart, Target, Amazon, Ulta, or at evolutionofsmooth.com. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Now, back to the show. We have Bob the drag queen today, and now that I was able to get that off my chest, let me give them a little intro. You know her as one of the most legendary queens to ever grace the stage of RuPaul's Drag Race. She's also an actor, a comedian, an activist, a musician, and co-host of the podcast Sibling Rivalry with Monet Exchange. Now, everybody, welcome to the stage, the one, the only Bob the drag queen. Whoa! People are screaming! They're ripping the shirts off! Hey.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I feel like I should comment on the things you mentioned before.
No, please do. What are your thoughts?
Well, I just find it kind of funny that Taylor's like, this is really hard. This is excruciating. Is that the actual word she used? Excruciating?
She said she was pissed off and called the situation
excruciating. And there's someone out there who's like in like some deep physical pain, and like someone just like has like broke their leg or like
both their arms,
and they're like, you know what? Now that you mention it, this does feel almost exactly like having your tour completely sell out within an hour, and then having people try to resell your tickets online. This is I would honestly, it's apples to apples.
My whole thing is like, don't get me wrong, love you T Swift, but the way she described the entire situation, I understand like pissed off is a word, but like excruciating, like that just, first of all, girl, you didn't buy the tickets.
That's a little out of touch there. I don't know, years ago Lady Gaga tweeted out fame is a prison, and then someone retweeted and said, I hear you mama, but prison is prison. Like, I hear you, but prison is prison.
Yeah. Speaking of, okay, do you know, aside from the whole T Swift situation, have you been keeping up with what's going on in Congress right now with the whole UPA or UAPs and?
Yeah, I have actually been. Not super closely, but AOC posted an Instagram story about it recently that was actually really quite telling, and really informative to have someone like talk about it from the perspective of someone who's in Congress, the hearings.
Yeah,
and I don't know. It's really interesting, So a UAP is also a UFO.
Yeah.
But they've turned to anomaly instead of aeronautics because it covers land and sea.
Yeah.
I mean sky and sea. Mm-hmm. So and everything in between. That's just unidentified.
Yeah.
Anything from the Batmobile to a PT Cruiser that anyone hasn't seen in years. Like, what is that, a PT Cruiser? And I feel like I feel like honestly we're all doing pretty. Like, we're handling the idea of aliens pretty well. We're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But I am intrigued by like these like people who are like, they're so ready to accept aliens, but they're like, but trans isn't real. They're like, oh no, there's aliens, but trans is made up. I'm like, all right, I feel like there's a disconnect here, right?
Yeah, I feel like we're talking about like extraterrestrial intelligent life forms. We're being told that we are no longer the only intelligent species in the universe, and you're more open to aliens existing rather than the rights of trans individuals and women's bodily autonomy, which is,
to be fair, when they're like, if aliens do come to Earth looking for intelligent life form and they land in Florida, they're like, there's none here. Let's just go. We're good. No, there's nothing
I really hope that's
here.
Not the first place they decide to land.
We found a Rhonda, someone named Rhonda Santis. He doesn't look like a Rhonda. But also, why do aliens only come to America? Why is no one in Melbourne, Australia like, crikey, mate, I've seen an alien?
I think
you will never believe this, but I saw aircraft floating right above Melbourne. No one says that.
But here's the thing. I've been recently reading more about how like people in Russia, I feel like it's not that it doesn't occur in other countries. It's just like as citizens of a certain country, you are more
as an American,
citizen. I feel like, but I feel like in any country, like if I was in the UK right now, or if I lived I do live in the US, but if I found out that something was going...
Imagine if you lived in the US of all places.
Of all places, it's unfortunately we do. But I was just like, if I saw something on the news about an UAP in the UK, I'd be like, okay, I don't give a shit. But whereas it's like, oh, UAP in Sacramento, California, I'm like, oh.
Well, Sacramento's close, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I feel like people are more concerned with like, if there are aliens, if they're coming to them or like other people around the world.
You know, you might be onto something there. You might be onto something, but I think it's because the government's like, no, we saw him. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like, you know, Bubba was like, I think I done seen a UFO floating above my house. But when a congressperson is like, no, there's an alien, we're like, if the prime minister of the UK was like, no, for real, y'all, we saw some aliens, I feel like the world would at least like perk up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just get it over with. That's my whole thing. It's like if these UAPs and aliens are real and they're visiting, just show yourselves. We don't give a shit.
They're also so shy. They're so shy.
I know.
They're like, don't look.
That's my problem too, because it's like you're gonna say that you're exchanging information with these extraterrestrials, or like you've reverse engineered their UAPs or these unidentified aerial phenomena, and you've reversed engineered them and this, that, and the third. Okay, well, like, where are they?
Here's an idea I thought about. You know, if the what do they call it? Biomatter. Like they were like they didn't say biomatter. They're like non-human biomatter or whatever. Like matter.
Yeah.
Made it. So the thing is, like, the nearest inhabitable galaxy, not inhabitable, but the nearest galaxy is actually not Andromeda. It's like a little mini galaxy, and it's 25,000 light years away, which is the time, like, that's how long it takes light to travel 25,000 years, which is very, very far. I mean, light can get around the entire Earth in like 7 seconds. From like Atlanta around the world back to Atlanta in 7 seconds. So 25,000 years, it goes so far. So if, for example, by any chance, millions of years ago, something was put into some sort of a spacecraft and launched into space toward Earth, maybe what was in it would have just died. And then by the time it landed here, it's just a dead thing. That is a possibility. Then there's also the fourth dimension. Do you know what the fourth dimension?
I have heard about, like, when people trip on DMT, a vast amount of individuals. Also,
DMT, is that another?
So DMT.
What are all the drugs alphabets?
So when you sleep, your brain releases DMT. Like, naturally, all humans, everybody has.
Is that a new streaming service? I'm with the union. I'm union strong.
No,
I'm not supporting DMT or HBO or any.
You're like, screw DMT, screw HBO Max, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Netflix,
DMT Plus, QVC, Elemental P.
Okay,
PCP.
QVC sometimes eats. My mom loves QVC.
That's true. No, but DMT is it like dopamine? What is DMT?
It's DMT, I can't like describe it chemically. All I know is that when you sleep.
Oh, is that the kind of music that's like?
No, that's EDM, babe. EDM. You're like, yes, DMT.
At night, my brain just releases EDM whenever I sleep. So it's like, is it a drug? DMT?
You can take it as a drug, and a vast amount of people. It only lasts 5 minutes, but it feels like you're tripping for hours. Nice trip.
5 minutes, because people on shrooms for hours is too much.
Yeah, but those 5 minutes people describe as like feeling like hours long. And then when you they call it like the breakthrough. And essentially in this breakthrough, a lot of people are greeted by these like extraterrestrials that are larger than them. And they're like given information, yada, yada, whatever. But DMT and like, I have so much, like, even the Montauk Project, like, there's so much, like,
I don't even know what that is.
It's basically what Stranger Things is based off of. Like, kids would be taken out of school, and do you know what is it? It's called, oh my goodness. It's like, what if I were to sit here and someone were to give me coordinates, I could describe what the area looked like.
Is that like a?
It's like a psychic thing.
Interesting.
And
there was a lady in Australia who has perfect recall of every moment in her life. Like the way her brain works, someone's like, August 15th, 1997. And she's like, oh, that was the day that Smooth Criminal was released. And I remember Michael Jackson was promoting it and he was wearing like this shirt that had these like silver little thing on the shoulder. And someone look it up and it'll
be exact.
Yes. Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
Well, I don't know what I had for breakfast.
I could not remember any. I literally this morning when I was parking my car, Amanda was like, oh, like who let you take their spot? And I was like, I don't know. And then Amanda was like, what car were they driving? I was like, I don't know.
Literally nothing.
Like I don't recall anything.
And this woman's like, yeah, I remember I believe the 976 word in the book Wizard of Oz is tree.
Wait, you know that?
No, that's just how she
would be. Yeah. I can't do that. Wait, you were talking about the fourth dimension, and then I talked about the Montauk Project. Explain the fourth dimension.
Okay, so the fourth dimension. I'm not I don't take this with a grain of salt, by the way. But you know, one dimension is basically something like the dimension is left to right. So you can go this way, you can go this way, you can go this way.
Yeah.
And that's all that exists. So if you're in a one-dimensional world, you can't look up and you can't look down. You can only look straight and you can look back. Those are the only ways you can look. But you can't even turn your head to look that way. Now, two-dimensional is when you see something that's like a picture, a drawing. It has up, down, left, right, and then a couple of diagonals as well. Yeah. We live in the third dimension, right? So we have up, down, left, right. We can look all around because the way that two-dimensional works, you can look up, down, left, right, and then a couple of diagonals. But then when you tilt that and it becomes a sphere, that's when you're in the third dimension where we exist. And things in the second dimension can't see us, but we can see them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you can watch something that is two-dimensional and you can see it, but it can't see you because it can't perceive what a third dimension would look like. And there is a fourth dimension. We don't know if there's anything there, but there is a fourth dimension that we can't even perceive.
So if we can't perceive it, they can perceive us, though.
They can perceive us, and they can be literally right here above us, below us. They can move through time and space very fast. They could go from Maine to Kenya in a matter of seconds, just like you can walk, just like you can, move your finger on a map.
Yeah.
Because they're observing us. If there is something in the fourth dimension, it can observe us, but we can't observe it. And it could be right there. And there's a theory that this could be what some of this alien matter is.
That's what people say when they take DMT. It's like they're getting a view of the fourth dimension because they see a whole bunch of like abstract shapes and things that they've never seen before. And then like they see these like extraterrestrials. And a lot of the people who take DMT describe it the same way. But
you ever heard of a tesseract?
A tesseract? Yeah.
So a tesseract is like a bunch of cubes together, but you can't really draw a tesseract because it can't exist in the third dimension, which is where we are.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I feel like it's really not crazy, but it's very bizarre that we're able to like visualize what a tesseract is. Like I know people like you've seen it before, right?
Yeah, kind of. You see what it should look like. But you
it's
can't
just
actually see it because you can't actually perceive it.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that wild?
It is wild.
Oh, I wanted to tell you about the Montauk Project. Sorry. Basically, these kids were being taken from school. They thought it was like an extracurricular thing.
In Montauk, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
like, no, it's actually.
It's called remote viewing.
Okay.
It's called remote viewing. So that it would be like, I'm sitting here. The way that a lot of these kids described it is like, they would be taken to the library and then they would have like these eye drops placed in their eyes. And it was fast acting LSD.
That's what a real thing?
Mm-hmm. And these kids,
who took them?
The government. And it was shut down. It was shut down for good reason because like these kids were like actually describing, they were trying to do remote viewing and like people in other countries. And if you look online, there are a whole bunch of like CIA classified documents that you can, I think this was in like, oh my God, what year? Maybe like 70s, 80s.
This is what? I'm listening. Keep talking.
This is called like remote viewing, and it was called the Montauk Project. And in Montauk, a whole bunch of like weird ass like animals were washing up on shore, and people were saying that they felt like they had crossed another dimension or like a dimension had opened. And that's where Stranger Things comes into play because that's literally what Stranger Things is about. It's about all these kids who were kidnapped and they were tested on for like psychic experiments, and then a dimension was opened up by one of them, and then all this crazy shit starts coming through.
I mean, I lived in New York City for 12 years. I was like, I feel like I would have heard about the Montauk, but it's not confirmed. It's like a theory.
Oh no, it's real. Like if you look it up online, look up the Montauk Project. And like there are a whole bunch of kids that are now full on adults who have come forward and explained what it was like. And they've been like, well, we weren't like.
It was crazy.
I could never. If I was told, first of all, I don't care how old you are. My mom always told me growing up, stranger danger. And if you were a man in a suit and tie and you walked up to me and said, we're going to go to the library, I would say, you're weird.
Well, my mom used to always say this. It was like her go-to. She'd go, like if she had left the house and had to leave me and my brother alone, she goes, don't answer that door for anyone.
Anybody.
I don't care if, there were two names she'd always say. She'd go, I don't care if Bill Clinton himself knocks on this door. She would always say that. Or she'd go, I don't care if Jesus Christ knocks on this door. You tell Jesus, wait till my mom gets home.
Have you ever almost been kidnapped?
Have I ever almost been kidnapped? Yeah, actually, yeah. One time, my school bus was stolen with all the kids on it, and we were on the bus, and we were just like kind of off the beaten path. I'm like, "Oh, it's getting a little weird," but then we got back on the right path, and then at the first stop, we had a substitute school bus driver.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, at this one stop, the actual bus driver was there, and he got on and physically like got into a fight with this man who was driving the bus. And then like they got into a tussle and he threw him off the bus. And then our bus driver got back on and just drove us and continued the route.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was in Phoenix City, Alabama. I think we were gonna get mopped.
Get what?
Mopped, stolen, taken, kidnapped.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been. Well, there was like one time, but my mom stopped that real quick.
What happened? Like how?
So when I was really little, my mom and like we lived in this apartment and it was right above this really cool, it was like a seamstress place. And my mom used to watch me from the window while I take out the trash. Like my mom was like teaching me how to do chores and I must have been in like the first grade. And we had this big ass paved driveway and I walk up to take out the trash. It was like a little bag and this car goes this way and blocks off my mom's view of me because it was like a big driveway. So imagine I'm at the sidewalk here. The car swooped around this way and blocked me off. And I just remember 2 seconds later, my mom busting down that door, the front door that is. Like she sprinted to come and get me. She ends up picking me up and this guy was asking me for directions. He was asking me if I could help him find his way to like this school. And then kept asking me if I could point it to him on a map. And I am not even joking. That week, was I in first grade or kindergarten? It was one of the two because I remember I was sat down in a classroom and we were learning about stranger danger, where it's like people will come up to you and be like, do you want candy? Or like they'll ask you for directions. And I just remember being like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to help you. And then my mom literally coming and swooping my ass up and she was like, she literally screamed at the man too. She was like, why are you asking a child for directions?
He was like, I got these eye drops with LSD. I want to give.
He's like, I want to take him to the library.
I'm trying to take him to the
Have you heard of remote viewing?
To the fourth dimension. That is wild.
Yeah.
I've had a few otherworldly experiences in my life.
Ooh,
which is
tell me.
I don't really believe in an afterlife, but I've had a few moments that were like a little bit afterlife-y, where when I was a kid, I remember, do you ever get sleep paralysis?
Yeah. Yes.
If you don't experience sleep paralysis, you're so lucky. Sleep paralysis is the most terrifying thing. You will, like, imagine if you're in your bed and you can't move a single part of your body and you are as anxious as you have ever felt. Mm-hmm. You can literally only move your eyes. All you can do is open your eyes and move them around. You can't even wiggle your toes. So I was having sleep paralysis, which I used to have all the time. And then this angel came out of the ceiling. And it looked just like, but the reason I think I made it because it looked just like an angel that I saw in my these Bible stories I used to get on VHS.
Yeah.
It looked literally just like that angel. And he came out of the ceiling and I tried to scream, but I couldn't scream. I couldn't even move. And then he goes, don't go to Mississippi this summer. Your grandmother will die. And then he just sucked back up into the ceiling and then he disappeared. And then I screamed. I just started screaming so loud that my mom heard me on the other side of the apartment complex. She was doing laundry. And then she ran down and she's like, what? I was like crying. I was like, we can't go to Mississippi this summer. Grandma's going to die. We cannot go. Grandma's going to die. And my mom was like, you didn't, whatever you saw, there's no way you could have seen that because that's not a thing.
But did grandma die?
She died that summer.
In Mississippi?
In Mississippi. What's where she lived, but yeah. But we went to Mississippi. But we went to Mississippi every summer. And she was young. She was 54.
That's crazy.
That's pretty young. Yeah.
And you don't believe in see, like I believe. I don't believe in like a heaven where it's like up in the clouds. I definitely believe that there's something after death. What that is, who the hell knows?
I hope not.
Really?
I don't want to do stuff after I'm dead.
I just want it to be like peaceful, calm, at peace. Like I like don't have to worry about anything.
You know what's peace? Nothing. Not exist. Just like, not like I don't want to be here, but I don't want to keep doing any version of this for eternity. For eternity. Like someone's like, I bet they're looking down on us. And I'm like, imagine if you were alive in like the year 400 and then you die and then you get to look down on your children. And you're like, oh my God, I'm watching my children. And maybe even your grandkids. You're like, oh yeah. But then after that, after like a couple generations, you don't know these motherfuckers. Now you're just watching strangers. Now you're just walking around in the fourth dimension, looking at absolute strangers doing their thing. You don't know anyone. It's just flipping through the channels, looking at shit that is completely, you can't even fast forward. You can't even, what if you're assigned to Spencer and Spencer's just not doing anything today, just sitting at home, jerking off and scrolling through TikTok. And now I have to watch this for eternity. And then what about when the sun explodes and envelops the earth? And then, because you know it takes a long time for a universe to form. So then what about after it's, because it will go on forever and ever. Then once the sun explodes and then envelops the earth and everything's gone and we're back in complete darkness, you have to wait another like couple of billions of years just for a single cell organism to exist? No, I'm not interested. When I die, I want to just be dead. I want it to be exactly like it was before I was born. Void, nothing. I don't want to have to think about doing, I'm not going to look after my nieces or my nephews. I'm not going to look after anyone. I'm not going to spend my eternity being benevolent to people who don't even know I exist.
But like, what happens if you don't have to do that? Like, what if you can just like, you're chilling up in heaven with a marg in your hand?
I'll get bored.
Really?
I'm just like, oh, you ever get bored? I'm like, I am bored. Like, but people are like, but it's different. There's no concept of boredom. And it's like, well, I don't have a concept of not having a concept.
Yeah.
But I just think about how it was for me in the year 1913. It was nothing. It was peaceful. I wasn't there. I didn't exist. I had literally no worries because I didn't have thoughts. I wasn't even a twin. My mother wasn't even born. My grandmother wasn't even born. We were just existing in nothingness. And by not existing at all, that sounds like peace to me.
That's crazy. Because like,
you want to keep existing forever?
I feel like maybe that's just like my brain, but like that's where we differ. Because it's not that I want to keep existing forever. It's just I personally think that if there is an afterlife, I don't think that when you die, it's like you go into heaven. I think you become a part of the collective, and like in my head, I think like the collective is like you're one with the universe.
I hate that.
But like that's where you were before now.
I lose my individuality. Now I'm like part of this big thing. What if so you're going to be in the collective with like Donald Trump. You're going to be in the collective with Jeffrey Dahmer. In the collective, just up there in the collective, swirling around.
Maybe they're not there.
You've become one with Trump. You and him are just swirling around in and out of each other's collectiveness.
No. I take it back. Never mind. I want that.
And then like going back and like they're like, you go back to the earth. But the earth isn't even going to be here forever. So what happens when she's dead? Like, I just want to just like not anything. That sounds so... Oh, that sounds like peace to me. It really does.
Just like nothing.
Just... Not even darkness, void. Think how the year 1986 was for you. Like that. Didn't it feel kind of peaceful?
Yeah.
Right?
I feel weightless.
Right?
Yeah.
This is what I think.
Can I tell you something?
What?
I need to
Some DMT? Are we on DMT?
No.
I had a little DMT in my cup.
I need to light a joint, sit here, and just listen to you speak.
Well, I mean, by the way, everything I'm saying could be wrong. Maybe I'm going straight to hell, which is another. Like,
if you are, save me a seat because I will definitely be seeing you there.
But also, who's in heaven? Let's talk about heaven. First of all, why is it a gated community? There's a gate
to get in.
Who lives next door? What's happening in purgatory that heaven needs a gate around it? Second of all, there's a list There's just like a doorman. Does he ever get to leave? There's no way he ever steps away.
Are there shifts?
Because people are constantly dying, right? So he literally never gets a break. All he does is just sit there for eternity. They say in the Bible the books are paved in gold. There's nothing more valuable than gold in heaven. That's what you guys came up with? Gold? You had all this time to come up with anything. You were like, what's the thing you guys like down there? Gold? That's what's on the streets. Oh yeah, the streets are made of whatever the stuff you like the most. That's what the streets are paved in. For me, the streets be paved in cum.
See, I'd
be like, this is my kind of neighborhood.
And this is why you're going to hell, bitch. Jeez.
But also, who's in hell? I feel like a lot of fun people are going to be in hell.
Well, my whole thing is like when I was growing up in the Catholic Church, it was always just like, if you're a sinner, but on your deathbed, you're really sorry for your sins, you get to go to heaven. Yeah. Like my teacher taught me that like Hitler could go to heaven if he was really sorry for his sins. And I'm like, well, if Hitler's up there.
Most people on death row go to heaven because a lot of them repent right before they get the.
Really?
Yeah.
I recently found out that death row is like still allowed in certain states.
Yeah.
I thought death row was gone.
No, capital punishment is very, very still much happening. Yeah.
That's terrifying. I mean, I don't think I'd end up on death row. Hopefully.
Well, yeah,
I mean, unless I get caught.
You don't strike me as a serial killer. I don't think you have the capacity for it.
I don't think I do either. No. I just want a cat. Not to kill, just to have. I love cats.
If TikToker was going to be a serial killer, it would be you, though.
If I were to think of a TikToker that would be a serial killer, I have a list of names.
I think Trixie Mattel could be a serial killer.
I
wouldn't call her a TikToker. She's more of a YouTuber. Millennial.
Oh, millennial.
But yeah, she could be a serial killer. If one Drag Race girl is going to be a serial killer.
I always thought it would be Katya.
She's a victim. For sure. She'll end up in someone's basement for sure.
Got it. No.
Yeah, and I don't think she has the capacity for it either. But I think there has to be like I think part of being a serial killer, you have to be really charming to get away with it for a long time.
So you don't think I could be one?
You know, our sponsor today is I'm just kidding.
Actually, speaking of, I'm like, okay, so like, you're like, you have to be charming, handsome, attractive, cute, approachable. Like people need to actually want to be around you.
You have to be smart.
And I'm like, so not me.
And I'm like, so you are good to go. You are
not getting capital punishment,
you
babe.
seem anxious.
Yeah, I'd be too scared to kill someone.
Yeah.
This is my thing. I feel like in order to murder someone, you actually have to be an evil, horrible human being. So I
don't think so.
I do. I feel like unless, for example, if it's like you are driving intoxicated, which you shouldn't do, and then it's involuntary manslaughter. That isn't. But I personally do think like, unless you are in a situation where like, say I've been kidnapped and I have to kill the mother who's kidnapped me and like I would do it. If it's like for my life and it's either kill or be killed, bitch, I will kill. But if you're just killing an innocent person,
yeah, that's pretty.
That's like that's scary to me. Like that's actually even if someone's done me wrong, the last thing that would ever cross my mind is like, oh, I want to kill them.
Well, I will say I always say there's two kind of people in the world. There's people who stand on the train platform in New York City and go, I could just jump in front of this train. And then there's people who go, I could just push someone in front of this train. Which one are you?
I'm the I could just jump.
I could push you. I always stand for I could just shove any of you in front of this train. I always think to myself, I could push any one of you in front of you're just standing in front of me. This is crazy. Serious? Yeah.
I always think I could just jump. I actually was talking to my friends about this and it's so comforting to know I'm not the only one. I would never take my own life, but I cannot tell you like how many times I like think about it throughout the day.
No,
like
same.
When shit gets too hard, I'm just like, why am I even here?
I would never kill anyone, but I'm driving down the street and I see someone on the sidewalk. I'm like, I could just mow that person down. And there's nothing stopping me right now, except for the fact that I would never, I don't want to. And it would ruin my life and their life and all their loved ones' lives. But I was thinking to myself, well, I could just whoop. For the record, I would never do that, but I always think to myself, I could.
That was God's way of being like, slow down, bitches. Slow down on the murder train.
Was that your producer text you saying, can you lighten up on the murder? That was pretty sexy. Try to steer away from the any implications of murder. But anyway, goes back to my point at large, which is the idea of other things existing that are observing us that we can't observe them. And sometimes I feel that way when I'm driving down the street and someone sees me but they don't see me.
Yeah.
I was rehearsing with Madonna for this tour that I'm going on pretty soon, and we were in this building, and other folks were in the building, but they didn't know Madonna was there.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, these people have no clue that the Queen of Pop is less than 100 feet from them. How many times do you think you have been in the same building or even room as Beyonce, Britney Spears, Taylor Swift, but you probably literally didn't even know it?
That's actually insane.
Wild. And it's probably happened more times than you think. I mean, you're in LA, baby. Isn't that kind of wild to think about?
I feel like I've seen some celebrities, but not enough for me to I met Hayley Kiyoko the other day. I just like.
Oh, I did an episode of Drag Race with her.
I love her.
She was on Celebrity Drag Race.
I actually adore her.
Yeah. What was the thing with Hayley Kiyoko? How did you see her?
Me and my friend were driving back home from an event, and by back home, yeah, get the blanket out. When I say we were driving back home, I mean my friend was dropping me off at my apartment, and as we were driving, we look outside, and I swear to God, I see Hayley Kiyoko, and my friend sees Hayley Kiyoko. My friend was like, "Is that Hayley Kiyoko?" And I was like, "I think so." So then we did the only rational thing that any human being would do, and that was go around the block to make sure.
Obviously.
And then before we saw her, we slowed down a little bit to make sure we actually saw her, and then we rolled down our windows and we were like, "We are so sorry, we don't mean to bother you, but we love you." And then she was like, "Yeah, we did." but then she looked at us and she was like, "Oh my God, I love you guys, holy shit."
That's
she
so
knew
sweet.
who we were.
And that's amazing.
And I was like, wow. So then we took a photo with her, which was really, really nice.
Years ago, I was walking down the street and I saw Scott Hoying from Pentatonics and Mitch DeGrassi from Pentatonics. Or Grassi, I think it's whatever. I saw them walking down the street and I said, "Oh my God, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I'm a big fan of your work." And they said, "Oh my God, we love you." And I said, "You love me?" This is maybe 2012 before I was like, "You love me?" They're like, "We love you." And I was like, "You know who I am?" And they were like, "You're that rapper Leaf." And I was like, "Yes, I am." As a matter of fact, that is exactly who I am. And we should take a picture right now. So they think they met Leaf on the street one day, and it wasn't. It was me.
It was you.
I get confused for a lot of Black celebrities all the time. Miss J from Project Runway, which is crazy because Miss J is 65 years old. And I'm like, I get that you were watching Miss J on TV 20 years ago, but she's...
And you don't look...
I don't look 65 because I'm not 65.
Yeah, no, but you have no wrinkles.
I mean, I'm 37. I'm I'm not, and I get Botox as well.
Oh,
But also, to be fair, Miss J also doesn't have wrinkles. I actually haven't seen Miss J in a long time, but Miss J is aging beautifully, magnificently. That being said, she's about 30 years older than I am. So I'm kind of gagged. I also get mistaken for Titus Burgess all the time.
Who?
Titus Burgess from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
I love
Amazing.
that
He's
show.
a friend of mine too. But I get mistaken for Titus Burgess nonstop. People will go come to me. I got TMZ once chased me through LAX. But I didn't realize they were talking. They were just walking around. And then they finally caught up to me and they were like this guy was "Oh my God." He was like, "Titus, I'm a TMZ. Do you have anything to say?" And I was like, "As a matter of fact, I do." I am Titus Burgess. And they just spew the most hateful stuff in the world. No, I was like, "I'm not Titus Burgess." And they said the same thing I always say. "Are you sure?" And I said, "I'm sure."
That's the time I got pulled aside by TSA and got a full body pat down and my hands swabbed. And this was when COVID, face mask on, can't not wear a face mask at the airport. And they thought I was Jack Harlow. because of my curly hair. And they literally were like swabbing my hands for like all this residue. And this one guy was like, I love your work. And I was like on TikTok and I was like, oh my God, thank you. And they were like, wait, can you pull down your face mask? And I did. And they were like, oh, we thought you were Jack Harlow. It took them hearing my voice for them to be like, oh, that's a fag. That's not Jack Harlow, babe. That's Spencewuah.
I love you. Thank you. You should have kept it going, like, and I'm Jack Harlow, and I appreciate that so much.
I really thank you for no, literally, like, thank you. I don't know how else I could thank you.
So the guy's like, this was Shucky, but Jack Harlow offered to suck my dick at like, work today. I let him. He never took his mask off. He wouldn't. He poked a hole through the mask. But honestly, Jack Harlow can suck a dick.
Jack rating it at home like, what the who the hell? Me,
Jack Harlow can really suck. Have you ever seen Jack Harlow in real life?
Yeah. I've seen his face, not like in person.
No, but like you never seen him like in person.
No, have you?
Nah, you know, I can't really. Outside of the song he did with Lil Nas X, Industry Baby, I cannot. If you held a gun to my head and said, "Name a Jack Harlow song," or I'm pulling the trigger, I would just say, "Can I call my mom before you do it?" Because like, I don't. Jack Harlow, I'm not his target audience.
Didn't he do Glamorous? I've been a G, what the else?
No, that was the guy who what's her name's mom?
No.
Young Gravy. That wasn't Young Gravy?
No,
Young Gravy did. Oh, the Young Gravy did the Rick Roll song. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna. Oh, that's right.
Since we have been talking about our celebrity lookalikes, now it's time to play a fun little game called Guess That Icon. Essentially, the way that the game works is it is called Name That Icon, and we are given clues for each person we are guessing. I'm going to read off the clues, and then me and Bob are going to try to guess who the celebrity is.
Oh, so we're playing. It's not competitive.
No, we're doing this together.
That's fine.
Person number 1. She was once an American Airlines flight attendant.
Okay.
She was born in San Diego, and her first job was working at her mom's MJ's clothing store.
MJ's? Like Michael Jackson?
Her mom's name's MJ.
Oh.
Got it.
She is mom to 6 kids, 5 daughters, and 1 son. And she trademarked the term momager. Wait, I should still know this.
It's Kris Jenner. And it's just Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner, yeah.
She worked at a clothing store?
Yeah, MJ's.
Obviously.
I'm like, did you not just hear the clues?
You know, I mean, it was obviously it was the last clue. I want to get it before the last clue though.
Okay.
I want to get it like she was like Kris Jenner. I want you to be like she, and I'm gonna go Kris Jenner.
Okay.
I want to be able to have that level.
Then why don't I just do one at a time?
Okay, here we go.
Person number 2. When she was a kid, this singer won 35 local talent competitions in a row.
This sounds like Britney Spears.
This sounds like Beyonce.
Beyonce. Work. That was my next guess.
Did you want to hear the rest of the clues or no?
Yeah, let me hear them.
The other clues were she grew up performing to customers at her mother's hair salon.
That's what I would have got it, yeah.
She was originally asked to play the lead role in A Star is Born, but had to turn it down due to scheduling conflicts.
Really?
She performed at both of President Obama's inaugurations.
I would definitely got it by then.
She adopted the alter ego Sasha Fierce to overcome stage fright.
That's just naming her this one.
Yeah, that's naming
her. And her name rhymes with Shmi Manse Bowles Jarder.
Person number 3. She once had a job as a go-go dancer on the Lower East Side.
This sounds like Lady Gaga.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Did you want to hear the rest of them or no?
Yes, of course.
She is the godmother of Elton John's 2 sons. Mm-hmm. She is the first woman to win an Oscar, a Grammy, a BAFTA, and a Golden Globe all in the same year. That's what would have sold it away to me.
Can you read that again?
She is the first woman to win an Oscar, a Grammy, a BAFTA, and a Golden Globe all in the same year.
So I'm not saying that's not impressive, because it is very impressive. But the fandoms will like take such specific things and be like, she's the first person to ever win an Oscar and then literally like eat at Waffle House the next day. Like they will take it's so specific. They make it so specific
that it's like impossible for anyone else to do it.
Yeah.
And when she was in college, someone created a Facebook group called Stefani Germanata. Will never be Stephanie Germanata.
Not Stefani.
Oh, I don't know.
Her name's Stephanie.
I didn't. Okay.
Germanata.
Stephanie Germanata, you will never be famous. Oh, they feel stupid now. They feel real fucking stupid, huh?
Probably.
Imagine. Okay, number 4. This woman signed her first record deal at age 16.
I'm gonna say Dolly Parton. No.
She has a cameo in the movie Bring It On, All or Nothing.
Freeze. Bring It On. This is not the first one then. Bring It On is the second one. Okay, keep going. A cameo. Keep going.
One of her most successful songs topped the charts for 10 weeks in a row.
What?
Is this Solange?
Is it Mariah Carey?
And then she received military training in her home country of Barbados. Rihanna?
Oh, Rihanna. Robin Rihanna Fenty is her actual name.
You said correction, bitch.
Wait, she was in the military?
She had military training in our home country.
You're
of
like, what I
Barbados.
said was.
So like
I didn't
actually,
misspeak.
so you know her full name. I know the facts.
Did you know that like pretty much everyone in Israel is in the military? Like anyone you know from Israel who is like 25 can dismantle an assault rifle. Because they all learn in the military.
I did not know that. No.
Everyone has to go. And same in this might not be true, but I believe the same as in South Korea. Like everyone in South Korea goes to the military. Did you not hear that? Not BTS. What are BTS? The guys. Those are the guys. They quit because they take like a 5-year break to go to the military.
Wait.
It's just the men.
Oh, it's just the men. Because in Israel it's everyone, but in Korea we just got a word. It's just the men.
It's just the men.
But Rihanna was a cadet.
Oh.
Barbados military.
Rihanna was a cadet. That sounds gay. Like a cadet sounds like you're in you're in the band.
You're in band?
Like it was like she's a cadet. Like it sounds like a dance troupe. We're the cadets.
I would be in a dance troupe called the Cadets.
Do you play any instruments?
No.
Can you sing?
Maybe.
Album coming this summer.
Subjective.
Album coming next summer.
Now that we're on the topic of no. Let's cue in an ad for my favorite song, Spencewuah, written and sung by Spencewuah.
I remember this video of you be like, my name's not Spencewuah, but now you've adopted it.
Yeah, like my name, because it was so strange because people found out that my name, like my real name was Spencer Hunt. And everyone was like, I thought your name was like Spencewuah. And I was like, my real name's Spencer Hunt. And people were like, what?
Well, I think people now kind of you go by your going by your screen name is kind of a thing now. I think it's how like Lakele47 became like Lakele47, and same with like Takashi and all these people were like, oh, we just go by our screen names now.
Our screen names, yeah.
It's kind of giving.
Do you want to? Here's a good question. How did you come with the name Bob the Drag Queen?
It's actually not an interesting story. What happened was my name used to be Kid with a Whip, which is an old Anne Margaret movie, and then everyone used to keep mispronouncing it. I get called Kitty, Kate, all these names. And then I was like, I'm just gonna make this thing really simple. And I chose Bob because I think it's a funny name. And then all my friends said, do not do that. You cannot be successful named Bob the Drag Queen. And I was like, watch me. And and someone made a Facebook group called Bob the Drag Queen will never be famous.
And look at you now.
And you know what? I still have time to be famous. I still have time. So you're still not wrong.
Slow down, guys. Just I see the group chat's gaining some members. So let's settle down real quick. Okay, this is the next person. Person number 5. When she was 12, this woman was a backup dancer for Selena Gomez in a Sears commercial.
For Selena Gomez?
A backup dancer.
Well, she must be young because Selena Gomez is like, what, 29, 30? So she has to be pretty young.
Is it Zendaya?
Zendaya.
The only reason I could think about that is because Zendaya was in Shake It Up.
Zendaya, I was at a party with Zendaya once, and there was this big, Zendaya's former stylist, Law Roach, was there and was like, do you want to go meet Zendaya? It was an HBO Emmy party.
Yeah.
And he was like, do you want to go meet Zendaya? And I was like, by the way, this is no shade to Zendaya. I was like, you know what? I'm good, because there was like this big group of people like surrounding this woman.
Yeah.
And they were all like huge fans, and like watch all of her stuff. And I was like, I'm familiar with some of her stuff, but like I don't watch Euphoria. And I feel like there's someone who would want to meet her who is like really familiar with her stuff and would really like benefit. And I wouldn't know what I was. I would get there and be like, hey,
how are you? You know
what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she doesn't know who I am. So like,
how do you know that?
I don't know that. You're right. I don't know that. But like I'm like I don't know what we would say. So I was like, I'm gonna let her have a good night. I'm gonna let her because she was stuck. I mean, this woman could not move. There were so many people lined up to meet her.
Was Timothy there?
Who's Timothy?
Chalamet.
Oh, Chalamet. He's the one from the Peach movie. Yeah, he's Willy Wonka now. You hear about this?
Oh, I heard about it. Oh,
is that your type?
Guys who look like if I picked them up and just twisted their arm a little bit, a bone would break. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Timothy Chalamet was like if a strong wind came through, he'd end up in the valley. Yeah,
yeah.
He'd just be picked up and taken
He'd
to
be like a kite.
Yeah, taken to Santa Barbara.
Yeah. Are you ready for the last person?
Yes.
This celebrity won a famous reality competition series.
Wait, that's okay. That really does not narrow it down.
Co-hosts a podcast with a former co-star.
Oh, all right. Okay, I know who that is.
They were born and raised in Georgia.
Georgia, yeah. What's the next fact about them?
They played Belize
in Angels in America at the Berkeley Repertory Theater.
Yes. And they were the recipient of 2 GLAAD Awards and a Peabody.
Actually, 4 GLAAD Awards and a Peabody.
Get that shit right, weird ass. Pissing me the off.
Well, I don't know who it is. It must not be me.
Amanda.
Because she received 4 GLAAD Awards and a Peabody.
Amanda, you just want to make me look fucking stupid, huh?
And a Streamy, and a Webby, and a Television Academy Honors Award, honey. Yeah, but Amanda. The only thing I got wrong is she's not a celebrity. That's Bob the Drag Queen.
You said so. Actually, yeah, everything.
You know, you're like a fag. I'm like a celebrity.
No, I feel like I would like rank you celebrity.
You know, we've had the conversation. I guess I am technically a celebrity, but we have brought. You know what it is? We've brought in the definition of celebrity, and now we get to pick our own celebrities. Now people get to pick who they want to be famous, as opposed to being presented with someone and being told this person is famous. And now we get to make people famous.
See, this is
because you're famous too. You're a celebrity. A lot of people know you. You have a lot of TikTok followers. You have more followers than a lot of celebrities. How many do you have on TikTok? Don't act like you don't. Don't act like.
I just said 15. I don't
15
check.
million. And let's see how many. You have 15 million TikTok followers. Let's compare that to, I'm going to name a celebrity and you tell me if you have more or less TikTok followers. That's the game we're going to play. Do you have more or less TikTok followers than Beyonce? Do you have more or do you have less?
Less.
You have 10 million more than Beyonce. Beyonce has 4.9 million TikTok followers.
We need to change that.
Whoopi Goldberg, do you have more or do you have less?
I think more.
More. Whoopi Goldberg has 151,000 TikTok followers. Lady Gaga, do you have more or do you have less?
Less.
Way more. Lady Gaga has 9 million TikTok followers. You have 6 million more than she does.
We need to fix that.
Kim Kardashian, do you have less or do you have more?
Less.
Kim Kardashian, you have more. She has 8.7 million TikTok followers. You have, okay, let's go, let's do a few more. This is a fun game. Is this helping your ego at all?
Bob is hosting, yeah.
Is this creating an ego for you? Oprah Winfrey, less or more?
I think more.
Significantly. Oprah is barely cracking 250,000. Lame bitch. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
That was a bit. Oprah, if you're watching, that was AI. That was not me. That was AI. All right, now you name a celebrity, and I'll see if you have more or less. Doja Cat, do you have more or less than Doja Cat?
Well, probably more now.
No, Doja Cat is crushing you, actually.
Oh.
By about 11 million.
Okay, yeah.
Do you want to look into the camera and apologize to Doja Cat?
Doja Cat.
I mean, she doesn't care anyway.
Yeah, not that you care, and I would call you a fan, but I wouldn't want you to spit on my face and call me an ugly bitch. So, Doja, I'm sorry. Not that you care at all.
Who's your doppelganger?
Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow, more or less?
Less.
Jack Harlow, damn, 5.4 million. Jack Harlow wishes. Now who's the industry baby? Jack Harlow?
Me!
More like Whack Harlow. So I hate him.
I love him. If Jack Harlow, give me a chance. Give me a chance, Jack Harlow. That's how I feel.
Timothy Chalamet is not on TikTok.
No, he's a bitch. but my bitch.
Timothy, if you're watching, can you just be cool?
Timothy, if you're watching, can you just like be gay for a year and like you can top me all you want and I will like be a good submissive bottom and like you can do whatever you want to me as long as you promise that afterwards like we'll be like this.
Does Timothy give top vibes to you?
Timothy gives verse.
Like reluctant verse.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll top.
Yeah.
I'll top you because my cock is so huge. I mean, I don't usually say cock, but I just feel like Timothy Chalamet would.
I feel like you would too.
My cock.
You're like, suck my cock.
Spencer, unfortunately, it's time.
You know what? I'll leave. I don't need.
This is my problem.
Listen, I barely need any invitation to leave. Thank you so much for having me.
No, that wasn't me. That was Amanda.
No, it was you, because when I came to spend time with another podcaster here, she gave me she didn't rush me. She was kind to me.
I didn't even rush. It was Amanda. Amanda, what the hell is wrong with you? Amanda, this is why I have a bad rep.
You're the Doja Cat of TikTok.
I'm the Doja Cat of TikTok because of you, Amanda. You give me a bad rep.
Give me a bad rap.
Well, because you deserve one. You're literally kicking my friends, my co-hosts off the show. We don't run on my time. We run on their time.
Thank
Understood?
you. And that being said, I actually do have to go.
And that being said, I have a heart out.
I have a heart out at 5 minutes ago, so we gotta wrap this up.
Before we end things, did you want to tell everyone where they can find you, any upcoming projects?
Of course, go to bobthedragqueen.com. I'm going on tour with Madonna. You can catch me at the Celebration Tour. And also my stand-up comedy special, Woke Man in a Dress, is available on my Patreon. And of course, I still have Suspiciously Large Woman available on Amazon Prime, and Bob the Drag Queen live at Caroline's is available on iTunes.
Also, your ats for all social media.
Bob the Drag Queen.
Yeah.
Yep, Bob the Drag Queen.
Well, everybody, if you don't know mine, it's Spencewuah everywhere except on Snapchat because some bitch stole my username. So it's Spencewuah with an M in the middle on Snapchat.
And we know it was you, Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah,
we know it was you.
Timmy, like, this is what I'm saying. Give me some of that top because I gave you my username. Anyway, well, thank you. But sucks for you, Timmy, because you might have stolen my username, but I'm still verified on Snap. So get a bitch.
Is that you point the middle finger down now?
Anyways, so if you didn't know, this podcast and every new episode of this podcast comes out every Thursday on all audio streaming platforms. But if you want to see this happening live and in person with me and Bob, go to the Past Your Bedtime YouTube channel and subscribe, like, and comment. Also, comment anybody you'd want to see me have on my podcast next. And if you like the merch that I have here, for example, the mugs, this cute little blanket, we have pajamas, crew necks, hoodies, go to the link down below.
And it's the whole episodes.
Yeah.
Look right there.
Yeah.
And it was so easy. I just did it. It took like a second.
It took like 5 seconds, right? Yeah. In the amount of time I'm asking you to go and like and comment, you did that.
Yeah. I want to comment on you and Gabriel's video. Hey, Spence.
See how easy that is?
Who is this loser you are interviewing? I don't even know who this guy is, but
Okay, no, that's perfect.
Interviewing ? Send.
Wait, who was it? Dom?
Oh, Gabriel.
Oh.
More like dumb Gabriel.
Anyways, guys, if you want any merch, click the description down below. I love all of you. If you don't love me, you won't do it, but I love all of you so much, so please do it. Anyways, it's been an amazing episode.
If Doja Cat won't love you, Spence will.
If Doja Cat won't love you, I will. I love you all so much. Until next time. Mwah. Hey, it's Spencewuah, and I'm back again because I literally can't stop talking about how much I love the EOS Sunset Sips collection. Their 24-hour hydrating lip butters come in 3 mouth-watering flavors: wild cherry slushy, pink lemonade, and island coconut. Think about that for a second. The flavors of fresh squeezed lemonade and muddled strawberries, or creamy coconut colada drizzled with caramel, all over your lips. When I put on EOS lip butter and close my eyes, I'm instantly transported to a tropical island resort, laying out by the pool with a cold drink in my hand while people stop and stare at my refreshed, hydrated glow. And the best part is, EOS Sunset Sips butters are dermatested, gluten and paraben free, and designed for sensitive skin, so you can reapply all day long for 24-hour moisture and hydration. Pick up your favorite flavor combos at Walmart, Target, Amazon, Ulta, or at evolutionofsmooth.com. Treat yourself, you deserve it.